watching Agent SAI. Official on YouTube is a very good version of it. Discover high readings, fantasy, full and coverage of this and other. Telugu. Watch along to get a Patreon or turn memberships up to the link in the description below in the comments. Go check that out. And in this part, we will talk about the review. Okay?
Yep.
Let's finish this movie.
Let's do it.
Also, on pace for way more Telugu films this year than we did last year.
That's true.
Granted, we stopped watching a bunch last year, like midway, because they weren't for us.
That's true.
So it wasn't because we weren't watching them. It's just they didn't work out for us.
Yep.
సార్ నేను బాబీ ఒకసారి ఆఫీస్కి వెళ్ళి ఆ ఫోటో స్టడీ చేస్తాను సార్. ఓకే, ఒక చిన్న రిక్వెస్ట్, మీరు నారాయణకి చెప్పి ఆ వెంకటాచలం బాడీ బిలాంగింగ్స్ ఒకసారి తెప్పిస్తారు. షూర్. మనం ఏదో క్లూ మిస్ అవుతున్నాం సార్ అక్కడ. కానిస్టేబుల్ ఇచ్చిన కవర్ అందుకో.
ఆత్రేయ గారిది బెయిల్ క్యాన్సిల్ అయింది సార్. అరెస్ట్ చేయమని ఆర్డర్స్ వచ్చాయి.
నారాయణ సార్ బండి పోనీ.
గోపాలం ఏం చెప్పాడు గుర్తుందా? శవాల్ని తీసుకెళ్ళినప్పుడు పూజలు చేసి తాయెత్తు కట్టి పడేసే ముందు తాయెత్తు తీసి పడేస్తున్నారని. ఆయన ఆ రోజు గోపాలం వెళ్ళలేదన్నాడు కదా. సో తన ప్లేస్లో వచ్చిన కొత్త ఆయనకి ఈ తాయెత్తు తీసి పడేయాలని తెలియదేమో. సో ఎగ్జాక్ట్ లొకేషన్ కనుక్కొని వచ్చే లోపలే ఒంగోలులో అజయ్ హర్ష, వెంకటాచలంలో నేను ఆ బాడీస్ని చూసేసాం. వాళ్ళు మమ్మల్ని అక్కడ చూసుంటారు.
కేసు విషయంలో మీ ఓల్డ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ అజయ్ హర్ష డీటెయిల్స్ కావాలి.
వాళ్ళ క్లాస్మేట్ ఒక అమ్మాయి ఇక్కడే లెక్చరర్గా జాబ్ చేస్తుంది. తను కలిస్తే వాళ్ళ పూర్తి వివరాలు మీకు తెలియొచ్చండి.
వీళ్ళకి కూడా ఈ అమ్మవారి పేరుతో ఏదైనా బిజినెస్ ఉందేమో. ఈ అమ్మవారి సింబల్తో ఏదైనా పెద్ద ఆర్గనైజేషన్ నడుపుతున్నారేమో.
The bubbling is still there.
Yep.
రిలీజియస్ క్రైమ్స్ ఇన్ ఇండియానా? యా, రిలీజియన్ పేరుతో ఎలా పబ్లిక్ ని చీట్ చేసి క్రైమ్ చేస్తారు అన్న దానిపై ఆల్మోస్ట్ 6 months వర్క్ చేసి మెటీరియల్ రెడీ చేశారు. వసుదా కూడా వీళ్ళ ఫ్రెండే.
అదే ఏజెంట్. బంధువులందరూ బాడీ వారణాసిలో కాలిపోయింది అనుకుంటారు. ఇంకెవరు కంప్లైంట్ ఇస్తారు?
రైల్వే ట్రాక్స్ దగ్గర దొరికిన బాడీస్ దేనికి మిస్సింగ్ కంప్లైంట్స్ రాలేదు, ఒక్క బాడీకి తప్ప.
ఎవరిది?
కావలి బాడీ. వాళ్ళ నాన్న వచ్చి మిస్సింగ్ కంప్లైంట్ ఇచ్చాడు. రెడ్ డ్రెస్, చేతికి అమ్మ మొహం పచ్చబొట్టు, చిన్నప్పుడు చేతికి వేయించుకున్న పచ్చబొట్టు, శవం చేతికున్న పచ్చబొట్టు. ఈ ఫోటోలో ఈ అమ్మాయి చేతికి లేదేంటి? వసుధ ఇంకా బ్రతికే ఉంది కాబట్టి. ఇదంతా చేస్తుంది ఆ తండ్రి కూతురులే సార్. ఆ ప్లాన్ వర్క్ అయి ఉంటే నేను మినిమం 10 years జైల్లో ఉండేవాడిని. కానీ వాళ్ళ ప్లాన్లో 2 తప్పులు జరిగాయి. ఒకటి, నేను దివ్యాన్ని చూడటం.
ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్ తాయితల దగ్గర స్టార్ట్ అయితే ఎండ్ అయ్యేది మన దగ్గరే. గోపాలం ఎక్కడ చెప్పండి అడిగి. ట్రేస్ చేయలేని ఒక అమ్మాయి ఫోటో తీసుకుని
నేను అజయ్ హర్ష మర్డర్స్ ని ఇన్వెస్టిగేట్ చేస్తూ కాలేజ్కి వెళ్తే వసుధ వాళ్ళ క్లాస్మేట్ అని తెలిసిపోద్ది. నాకు వసుధ మీద డౌట్ రాకుండా ఉండడం కోసం రెండో ప్లాన్ కి మారారు. ఏంటి? వసుధ చనిపోయిందని అందరినీ నమ్మించాలి.
సో మనం రైల్వేస్ లోని లూప్ హోల్ ని వాడుకుందాం. శవం వాళ్ళ హ్యాండ్ ఓవర్ లో ఉంటే 72 hours వెయిట్ చేస్తారు. ఎవరు క్లెయిమ్ చేయరు కాబట్టి వాళ్ళే కాల్ చేస్తారు.
జనాల్ని నమ్మించి మోసం చేసే వాళ్ళకి ఓ టెక్నిక్ ఉంటుంది సార్. బయట సొసైటీలో బాగా మంచి ఇమేజ్ ఉన్నట్టు కటింగ్ ఇస్తారు. ఈ ఫ్రీగా ఫుడ్ పంచడం, హాస్పిటల్స్ నడపడం, బ్లడ్ డొనేషన్ క్యాంప్ అని తొక్క తోట అన్నీ చేస్తారు. ఆ కటింగ్ పేరే బేతబల్లి అమ్మన్ NGO.
It has a burger. Oh, it says a burger.
బాబీ, స్నేహ.
ఏం లేదు ఏజెంట్.
గోపాలం దొరికాడుగా. జెండా ఎత్తేసి దుకాణం సర్దేసింది.
లేట్గా వచ్చాం.
తప్పించుకుంది.
సరే పద, రాజస్థాన్కి వెళ్దాం.
దాన్ని పట్టుకోవడానికి రాజస్థాన్ ఎందుకు వెళ్ళాలి?
ప్రతిదీ ఇలా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయాలంటే ఎలా స్వామి? బయట బియర్ బాటిల్స్ చూడు. కంగారులో ఎవరో పూర్తిగా తాగలేదు. సగం బియర్ అలానే ఉంది. బికాస్ దే మస్ట్ హావ్ లెఫ్ట్ ఇన్ హరీ. కానీ చుట్టుపక్కల ఎక్కడ కార్ మార్క్స్ కానీ టైర్ మార్క్స్ కానీ ఏవీ లేవు. సో దే హ్యావెంట్ లెఫ్ట్ బై రోడ్. ఈ ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంత తొందరగా తప్పించుకోవాలంటే వాళ్ళకి మిగిలిన ఒకే ఒక ఆప్షన్ ఆ రైల్వే స్టేషన్. ఈ 1 hourలో ఆ స్టేషన్ నుంచి కదిలిన ఒకే ఒక ట్రైన్ టు బికనేర్, రాజస్థాన్. లాస్ట్ వీక్ మీ మదర్కి రాజస్థాన్ టికెట్స్ బుక్ చేశాను.
అవును ఏజెంట్. నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ సేమ్ ట్రైన్లో కర్ణిమాత ఫెస్టివల్కి వెళ్తున్నాం.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. ఈ టైంలో అమ్మవారు అక్కడికి తెల్లెలుకల రూపంలో వస్తుందని నమ్ముతారు. కేసు క్లోజ్ అయింది కదా, సెల్ఫీ తీసుకుందా? దా 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 ఏందా ఆంటీ నవ్వు?
మీ అమ్మగారు అంత్యక్రియలు ఇక్కడ జరగలేదని తెలుసు కదా ఏజెంట్, అయినా ఇక్కడికెందుకు?
మహాలక్ష్మి గారు ఇక్కడ లేరని ఏజెంట్ సాయి శ్రీనివాస ఆత్రేయకి తెలుసు. మహాలక్ష్మి కొడుకు సీనుకు తెలియదు కదా. మంచి జరుగుతుందన్న ఆశ, చెడు జరుగుతుందన్న భయం మనిషిని దేన్నైనా గుడ్డిగా నమ్మేలా చేస్తాయి.
Is this based on a true story?
True things, I guess. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. My theory didn't work.
What a crazy kind of package.
Oh, maybe my theory did work.
నిన్న రాత్రి నెట్ఫ్లిక్స్ లో బాహుబలి 2 చూసా. అసలు రాజమౌళి గారు ఈగ తీస్తున్నప్పుడే తెలుసు నాకు ఎందుకు చంపాడు.
ఏంటి
FBI
అది అమెరికాలో కదా ఉండేది.
ఫాతిమా బ్యూరో ఆఫ్ ఇన్వెస్టిగేషన్. ఫాతిమా నా ఫస్ట్ లో పేరు సార్. సమ్ టైమ్స్
Slapped him.
మరీ గట్టిగా కొట్టారా సార్?
అసలు కట్టప్ప బాహుబలిని ఎందుకు చంపాడంటే
Wild. What a wild package to put such a powerful story in.
Seriously.
In kind of like a comedy mystery thriller. And maybe you guys were aware that it was based off of true events. Obviously, we were not.
No, that's for me the biggest plot twist is the fact that this is based on a very serious true dealings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane. And to put it in kind of like almost a comedic kind of package a little. I mean,
I've never seen a movie that took something so serious and put it into a comedy package.
Yeah. And it was kind of weird because obviously the first
first half
first
the comedy
30 minutes 45
was really
were kind of
heavy
like
comedy.
really heavy comedy, and then they splashed a little bit in here and there.
Right.
It really became like a mystery thriller the rest of the film.
Right.
But still, like the fact that like this came out and was like, obviously maybe you guys already knew it, but obviously that was a massive. Did you think it was the partner?
Yep.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
That was my second theory.
Yeah, my theory was the partner's the murderer.
They kept leading on that.
They did, and they kept showing her, and every time something happened, she had stepped away.
Yeah.
So it's like,
maybe she was just making phone calls.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
they wanted you to think that there was something more going on because they kept panning to her at some point.
I know.
And so
like,
I'm guessing
she's involved.
I'm guessing it was just the director's like, you think something's going to happen.
My theory was
it's like most mystery thrillers. Like
either the group or the person that was doing the murders, whatever they were going to be, which turned out to be the bodies in the railroad track, that he had been getting too close to people involved, and they planted her to get him off the cases and get him away from everything because he was getting a little too close, and then attempted to kill him. The fact that she wasn't there when the murder attempt happened on him in the car with the bag over the head, I was like, of course she's not there. Really didn't guess it, and 100% never saw that the end was going to show this is based on real events that take place.
Maybe that's what the director was counting on. Is that you think this is going to be kind of like a silly Scooby-Doo thing?
Yeah.
No, this is a real thing that happened.
Just a fun little entertaining premise.
This is a real problem.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it a lot. I think it did a great job.
It was going to be a very strong silver for me because I was enjoying every minute of it. I really appreciated the score. It wasn't. It was right on the teeter of the ending.
Yeah.
The fact that it becomes based on true dealings for me turns this kid into a gold for me.
That's a big message.
Big message. I mean, the whole, remember even the fingerprinting stuff. I've never heard about fingerprints being stoled in order to divert people's attentions from crimes.
I think you stoled?
Stoled.
I don't think that's a word.
It is now. Stolen.
Stoled.
Yeah. Stolen. Oh, it's my honey.
I really appreciated the film. I thought it was
Me too.
I think it was well paced.
Yep.
Swaroop,
put the
RSJ.
gold medal in here for the movie list.
RSJ, who did the writing and directing. This was his directorial debut.
Again, here we go.
He had something called Mahan Impossible in 2022 and then Vibe in 2025. Is it already out? August 2025. We're in 2025, right?
We're in 2025.
Okay. So it looks like he has a film coming out at the end of...
Called Vibe.
But heck of a directorial debut.
Yeah,
also
great
very unique. Like, you had your own stamp on, like, I want to make this kind of silly concept film of a guy who likes mystery movies.
Right.
And wants to become a detective.
Right.
It's a silly premise.
And you knew it was going to become a big case that this silly guy gets involved in that's an actual really serious case. You knew that was coming.
But then to turn it in and to, I think, weave a very good story that is kind of really complex.
This could have easily made you go cross-eyed and go, what?
But still making it almost lighthearted.
Yeah.
And kind of commercially acceptable.
Yeah.
To audiences, and then slam home a crazy, true
story
things.
Yeah, true events that take place.
That happen.
Crazy.
That is wild.
Really well done. We mentioned a few spots. Really nice cinematography, some nice lighting moments. The score is really, really good. And I mentioned a couple times during the watch along moments where I was thankful for what the director was doing. What I was, I'm sure most of you picked up on it. For those of you who didn't, I was talking about the fact that there were two moments where men were crying with our agent, and their crying wasn't going to be particularly believable. I don't think you would have seen tears, and he made it a point to make sure that they were lit in shadow so that you weren't constantly watching these guys who are supposed to be weeping and sobbing, and the audience is thinking, I don't believe they're weeping and sobbing. That was partially very, very well intended to keep you involved and make you believe what's going on is real.
Hats off to Naveen
Polishetty.
I like him a lot. I think he has very good comedic timing, and kind of like it's a dangerous kind of role, similar with the last one.
Yeah.
If you're playing this ridiculous person and you don't just nail it out of the park, like if anybody else played Ace Ventura,
right,
it would have been the biggest piece of dog shit you've ever seen.
Same with Naked Gun.
Yes.
Yep.
Unless you like have this God-given insane presence about you that just brings life into this ridiculous character.
Right, ridiculous character and makes him believable.
Yeah, it's not gonna be pulled off.
And I almost said it a couple times, but he went thespianatic on his dramatic moments when he had to be grieving about his mom.
Yeah.
Believed every second of it. And he he's the prime character. He's the titular character. He carries the film on his shoulders with the way he does every scene. Just really, really well done.
I've heard of that film, Chichori.
Yeah, I have too.
What's it, Chichor? Yeah, you guys can let us know what's next for him that we should watch for this main character. But I thought everybody did a very good job.
Yep.
Obviously, the biggest star was kind of just the whole story.
The story, the writing.
Obviously, the comedic aspects.
Were
very
the star is the story.
You could make a similar style film in Hollywood, making like a Hollywood.
Oh, heck yeah.
Of this, and I think it could be very funny if it's pulled off correctly.
And that's the twist. Who would have thought that the plot twist is finding out that this comedy murder mystery thing is actually based on true events? I'm still getting over that one.
And a horrific true event.
Really bad. I don't know I've ever seen a movie that takes horrible, dreadful human events and spins them in a way that's palatable for the whole family.
And points your finger at people taking advantage of people based off of their religion.
Yeah. I mean, it's tremendously sad. Mm-hmm. This could have gone the direction of the last film we watched that we loved. That was the film noir thing that our guy was making comment. No, he wasn't commenting on that one. It was the one we saw where with the three guys who were wrongfully accused. What was that one called?
What language, sir? Did we just watch it?
We just watched it.
Like how long ago?
A week ago. The three guys that were wrongfully accused and they're being chased and hunted down and beaten, and we said the actors were really beaten.
The Tamil film, yeah.
This could have easily gone that route. This could have been that kind of a film based on the subject matter it's on.
You could have easily made a very
dramatic, full-blown drama to draw attention to an important story.
But I think people wouldn't have seen it as much either.
No, this is a really, really smart way to do it.
Very different, but
so different.
Similar to how Ayushmann does his films with, like, they might have an insane, very different style, of course.
Yeah.
This is a lot more kind of gritty and
No, it's like taking the Ted Bundy murders and making it kind of a murder mystery comedy. Who does that?
Yeah, it's like if the end of Clue ended
Right. Turned up about this was really about true events.
Once again,
Brilliant.
If you haven't seen,
love it.
If you haven't seen Clue, it's one of the funniest movies ever.
It's a really, really, that's my favorite thing about this is taking something so dreadful, horrifying, awful, and putting it in a package that makes it palatable for literally anybody in the whole family.
Shout out to Mark K. Robin for the score.
Wonderful score.
Unique, funny at times.
Yep.
I'm very inspired by Western mysteries.
Very much so. And there were a couple of spots in the film where I felt, okay, we're making this go a little bit too long. You might want to trim the fat here, but the score helped propel it.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, where you can have a story that starts to bog down a little bit, but the score is so good, it keeps things moving. And that was Mark K. Robbins' score in this was excellent.
But I thought the
fun movie, man.
Comedic writing too.
The slap at the cup.
That's so funny.
So good.
And then they brought it back in the end.
So good.
Yeah, they really made you like. Did anybody else fall for the? My first one was the old man.
Right.
And we fell for what the writer wanted you to fall for.
Of course.
I feel like in both.
Yeah.
I think elements. I think obviously the writer wanted you to fall for that one guy.
She was a red herring. 100%. She was an intentional. I bet if you talk to them about it, they would say, "Yeah, we wanted you guys to think that she was guilty."
Yeah. It had to be because they kept the way they shot her.
Yep.
Reaction shots to him.
I was looking for the talisman on, I was like, is she wearing a talisman on her bracelet or something? She's got to be. The footprints. There's a woman's footprints. Is there mud on her shoes? I really was focused on her. Great job.
Honestly, it's a good writing tactic because it keeps you off the scent of the actual.
Correct. Really well
of
done.
The actual thing. Maybe we're just dumb. You guys can tell us if you.
Yeah. Everybody else, they're all, yeah, guys, we knew it wasn't her from the opening shot. I don't know why you thought that was a theory.
Well, he threw me off with in the beginning of the people that you thought would be the most innocent, or that's the culprit, and I thought, okay, that's just gonna be a through theme.
Right.
So they're telling us how the film's gonna end
Right.
now.
Right.
Which is a common thing, because especially nowadays, because you've seen every kind of story been told on film.
Yeah.
And so we all know the cliches.
One of my favorite whodunits where the killer's revealed and you would have never guessed who the killer was is it in The Man with Two Brains. If you've never seen it, it's very, very difficult for the payoff to work. For most people, even Americans now, because the killer is somebody that's not in the zeitgeist of culture anymore. They were when the movie was being made. So it doesn't have the kind of payoff, but it's fantastic. Did you see The Man with Two Brains? Steve Martin comedy.
I'm sure my wife has.
It's spectacular. He's a doctor that does brain surgeries, and his technique is a screw cap method on the skulls. And he does 2 brain surgeries at the same time. And he'll be doing his surgery, and he'll say, scalpel, sponge, forceps, get that cat out of here.
Sounds like Leslie Nielsen.
It's great. It's that kind of stupid. It's airplane stupid. And what happens is he ends up doing surgeries and stuff and gets involved in this murder mystery. And he winds up having to stumble upon evidences and people where he unwittingly becomes somebody trying to solve this crime. And the murderer becomes somebody who back in the 70s and 80s was in the pop culture. It would be kind of like finding out today you're watching a murder mystery and out of nowhere you find out the killer is Ryan Seacrest.
Or OJ.
No, that's too obvious. It would be somebody like Ryan Seacrest or Pat Sajak. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess Only Murders in the Building kind of incorporates comedy into a mystery thriller. Obviously,
they're not based on true stories, are they?
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
But they got Marty and
Has there-
and
Well, has there ever been a comedy
I'm sure,
that is based on those?
I'm
you know?
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, this was great.
I'm sure.
Really enjoyed it.
It's just very unique. Two bangers of Telugu
Yeah.
in a row.
Back to back.
so-
Really fun.
I'm gonna change. Obviously, last year people were like, "Oh, they hate Telugu."
I know.
We don't, guys.
We don't.
We also just if we're
There's
watching,
not one industry we hate.
the reason we stop watching movies in the middle is not because, like, if we used to do it all the time when we did much more reviews, when people wanted more reviews, we would finish every movie. We'd give you a review. But in watch-alongs, I don't want you guys to have to sit through a movie that you're not going to enjoy. We're not going to enjoy
No.
because you're watching us watch it.
And we're quiet the whole time doing this.
Yeah.
And then when it ends, we go, yeah, I didn't like it. What's the point of that?
Yeah, so it's not fun.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, if we watch something and we're not like if we just like, it's like if we're like, this is painful. That's why we stopped watching it.
Especially if you guys love it. Mm-hmm. Why would we want to do that?
But this was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed this film.
Me too.
Thank you for recommending it. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah.
For us to watch it. I know you got a lot of you have been recommending.
It's been
this
a while.
one since the beginning of the channel. 'Cause
I
it came
bet
out that year.
I bet when we did Bomkesh Biashi, they people were like, yeah, watch Agent Size. Remember? Because we watched. Yeah,
maybe.
This is like that movie.
Yeah. So let us know what you thought about the movie. If you like it, if you didn't like it, what your thoughts on it are. Which will be our next Telugu watch along. Let me know down in the comments below of what we should watch. If you'd like to see other Telugu watch-alongs, you have a Patreon or channel memberships. I'll put the link in the description below in the comments. Go check that out, as well as the uncut version of this reaction. And anything else we need to know down below.